What if I told you that the anxiety that you might be experiencing is not your fault? And there are certain processes that are happening in your body that are creating that excess anxiety that you are feeling, and there is a way to understand them and then be in a place where you are empowered to take charge of the way you think, the way you feel, and you can do it. Let's talk about it in my video today. Hey, Yulia Thyroid here, and together with my husband Paul Tarbert, we are certified holistic nutritionists and lifestyle coaches, helping you create healthy hormones, healthy body, and the life of your dreams naturally. Now, the topic that I'm going to talk about today is something that is very dear to my heart. It's something that a lot of my clients experience. It's something that a lot of people find shameful to admit. Likely things are changing in our world, and something that a lot of people can get answers to. So anxiety is a pretty much natural response to events, and you see it's encoded in our DNA and our genes. Now in a natural setting, that is going back, we had two options. First, you totally just relax and walk around in a chilled state and get eaten by a tiger, or you live in an anxious state that you could be chased by a tiger, and you could, you might have to run and you might have to defend yourself. What state do you think would save our lives? Living in a state of anxiety and stress. And that fight or flight response in your body that is happening throughout the day is something that is naturally built in us as human beings. Now, the stage of evolution that we're currently going through is understanding that, yes, we have our animal parts, we have our basic human parts, and that is like instincts, and we also have our amazing minds that allows us to understand these things, manage these things, that we don't live in the jungle anymore, we are not chased by tigers anymore, and we can change our response to events in life. However, there are deeper processes that are happening in your body that are to do with your hormones and other, nervous system and how it affects it all, that could be affecting the way you feel every day, that could be causing that excess anxiety that you are feeling. And let me also add that certain level of anxiety is absolutely normal for us to feel. So when people say that, I have so much anxiety, well, certain amount of anxiety is normal. So if it's a response to a specific event in life, if it lasts for a certain duration, let's say, you're going through a stressful situation and you need to cross that road fast, or you've seen a car approaching you, and of course there's that fight or flight response that kicks in. Nature wants to save your life. Nature wants to protect your life. So there are all those mechanisms that are built in us. So a certain level of anxiety is normal. However, if it's constant, if it bothers you, if it's something that has taken over your life, then that is not normal. Now, our specialty is nutrition, lifestyle, and helping people balance their hormones, fatigue, and solve their issues, whether it's autoimmune or other hormonal imbalances that they might be going through. And something that I really want to point out is that anxiety could be a symptom of a bigger problem happening in your body that is to do with your hormones. Let me give you an example. If your thyroid is out of balance, and you may or may not know about it, yes, so doctors may be addressing your anxiety, putting you on anxiety medication, and you've got a completely different problem going on. So for example, if your thyroid is out of balance, that will affect your neurotransmitters. When that happens, your serotonin is going to be affected by it, and your serotonin levels are the hormone serotonin is gonna go low. Your thyroid is low, that affects the neurotransmitters, that causes havoc on the way your nervous system works and your hormones work. Your serotonin goes down, and all of a sudden you are left with a sense of depression, anxiety, and this sense of just hopelessness where you don't know what to do, and the sense that I'm going to one doctor after another, I'm not finding answers. Well, the answer could be that your thyroid is out of balance. And what's even more frustrating, and that really drives me crazy, I have to admit that, is that the levels of the hormone levels that are set as normal in our world are not normal at all. are not normal at all. And this study, for example, shows that TSH of over 2.5 is already considered too high. And when you go to a regular doctor, the range is up to 5, 4.9. In certain countries, it is up to 4. It just depends on where you live and depends on the lab as well. But even though it sort of seems normal, it's not normal. And then the doctors are not going to be checking very vitally important hormones like T4 and T3 to understand if you've got a problem there. Doctors are most likely not going to check your cortisol levels, which is, again, is essential, is vital to the way you feel. If your cortisol levels are too high or too low, you will feel depressed. You will feel a lot of anxiety, especially if we're talking about high levels of cortisol. You'll feel erratic. You'll feel out of balance. You'll feel like you can't control your life. And you'll feel that no matter what you do, you're not getting answers. You're sort of getting answers that is to do with the mental side of things. But in fact, it's to do with your hormones. And in fact, it's something that you can control and balance. So what is the answer to it? And again, this study found that people with low thyroid hormones are more than twice likely to develop anxiety, depression, and mood-related disorders if compared to people who don't have thyroid disorders. And what about PMS? What about that time in your life where you are approaching your cycle, where your hormones go all over the place, where your mood is all over the place, where you have a lot of anxiety? Well, that's when you have to rely on nutrition and lifestyle to take you forward. And whether we are talking about addressing anxiety that is more a mental issue, or we're talking about addressing anxiety that is actually caused by hormonal imbalances in your body, hormonal imbalances, and then how they can lead to the imbalances of your central nervous system and affect you in a big way, and you're unable to find answers, this is something that you can improve. This is something that you can completely transform. If you're dealing with anxiety and you're on a low carbohydrate diet, you are on a low sugar diet, quit that diet, switch to a high carbohydrate plan. Because a low carbohydrate diet is going to negatively affect your hormones. It's going to cause the drop in the active T3 hormone. Again, it's vital, it's part of your thyroids. The three important thyroid hormones, TSH, T3, T4. T3 is the most powerful out of them all. Yes, so it's going to cause that drop in the T3 hormone. Your thyroid goes out of balance. We've already talked about what happens when that happens. Yes, so your cortisol is going to be affected by it. Your adrenal glands are going to be affected by it. No, we're going to switch to the lifestyle plan where you are eating plenty of carbohydrates. You're eating sufficient amount of protein. You're eating healthy amounts, but not high amounts of fat. And you're able to provide your body with sufficient calories and nutrition. So that is taken care of. Then we are addressing deficiencies. Could you be iron deficient? Could you be deficient in other nutrients? And that is causing you anxiety, and that is causing that just sense of hopelessness and sense of like you just can't control it. It's uncontrollable. It just takes over your life. It disempowers you. Yes, it could. So we need to address that side of things as well. What about your lifestyle? What about the things that you tell yourself? Could you change that by changing the chemistry in your body? That is going to happen when you change your nutrition. That is going to happen when you address nutrient deficiencies. You're going to start changing the way you talk to yourself. Yes, and then you're going to start changing your life, and you're going to start understanding the priorities in your life. So the most important step here is going to be addressing it and understanding, okay, what can I do? And I'm sure you've asked yourself that question, and I'm sure you've probably, looked for help. And if you have not found the answers, know that there is a plan to support you. Can it totally transform everything 100%? Well, even if it reduces your anxiety, even if it gets you to a place where you are more in control of your body and your thoughts and your lifestyle, that's already a win. And if it gets you to a place where you understand your thoughts, you understand that, there are certain mechanisms that are just naturally kicking in your body, and sometimes you'll feel stressed just as a response to a specific trigger, and you can manage that, yes, and you can manage yourself, then that's mastery. Okay, so what is the way forward? The way forward is to start creating shifts and changes in your life that can lead to different outcomes. And to help you with that, we've created a special free masterclass where we are going to talk about the 5 steps our clients use to rebalance their hormones, to address their fatigue, to lose 10 to 50 pounds of excess weight, because that can cause anxiety by itself, and to start thriving again. So if you want to register for it, go to description, there are details there, and also follow the details that you are seeing in front of you. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I'm going to link this video to another video where one of our clients, Heather, is going to share her story of overcoming depression, anxiety, changing her life, and also completely rebalancing her health. See you there.